So what will happen is the main program is being written up here, right? This is the first instruction of the main program, call average. So the second instruction will not be executed. Third instruction will not be executed. So fourth instruction will not be executed. So directly what will happen? Average, where the program, the ALU will go to this subroutine, that is this label. So what is present inside this? Clear A. So A is going to be vanished. So here what the direct addresses are used here. Okay, so here indirect addresses are used. So now clear A, move A, add A, some operation is going upon here. Everything will be executed, and then it means the things from the address, move A comma 30h, that is from 30h the value will be loaded into A, then that value, A value is going to be added with the value of 31h, with the value of 32h, with the value of 33h, and with the value of 34h. Then we are copying that value into B and we are dividing them, and then we are returning back to the next line. So when return happens, pop will happen. So whatever the stored data was there, stored address was there, that address will be loaded into PC, program counter register, so that the ALU will come back to the next address of the call instruction. Okay, so direct addresses I have used here. When it is an indirect addressing mode, so to avoid main basically having use of an instruction for each to be added. So what is happening here? R0 30h. Okay, first this instruction will be added, executed, then move R1 comma 05h. Okay, some counter is being taken up here. Okay, then call the average. It means from here we are jumping to this position. Move B comma R1. So now what happened here? Move B comma 05h. So what is R1? R1 is also 05. So what will happen? The value of R1 will be loaded into B. Okay, clear A. So we are clearing A here also, right? Then we are creating one loop now. So what we are doing inside the subroutine, we are now writing one loop here. So add A comma at R0. At R0 means what? In the R0, 30h is there. So it means at R0. So inside the 30h, whatever the data is there, that data plus the A is cleared. So that data is going to be added with A. So we are just doing this instruction. Move A comma 30h, or else okay, after this add A comma 31h. Okay, so first what we are doing, first we are taking 30h inside A. Now increment R0. So 30h will become 31h. 30h will become 31h. Okay, then what will happen? Decrement R1. So R1 is what? It is 05. It will come to 04 now. Then go back to loop. Decrement R1 and jump if it is not 0. So it is not 0, it is 04. That is why go to loop. Loop, where is loop? Here only. And A comma at R0. What is value of R0? It is now 31. So what we are doing now? A comma 31. This instruction. Then increment R0. So that will become 32. So decrement R1 and jump if it is not 0 to the loop address. So decrement it. So that will become 03. Correct. And then it will go back to a loop. Again, add a comma at R0. What is there inside at R0? It is 32. So what we are doing now? Add a comma 32. Okay. Then again increment R0. So that will become 33. So decrement R1. So it will come to 0, 2. So then whether it is 0, no. Then go back to loop. So come here, add a comma at R0. What is there inside at R0? 33H. So what we are executing now? 33H. Add a comma 33H. Then increment it again. So that will become 34. R0 will become 34 and decrement R1. So R1 will become 0, 1. Whether it is 0? No, it is not 0. Then go back again to the loop. So again come here, add a comma at R0. So what we are doing now? Add a comma at, add a comma 34H. So this is equivalent to this instruction. Okay. So executing one after another, one after another by giving the address directly, we are doing it in other way by just loading the address into R0 and counting loop 05 into R1. So R1 is acting as a counter now. R1 is acting as a counter and R0 is having the address, the beginning address 30H, and then we are going to increment it by 1 every time. Okay, so now what will happen? 34H is being executed. Then again decrement R1. So what it will become? 0, 0. So jump if it is not 0. What is our condition? Not 0, but it is 0, 0. So whether the loop, shall I go back to addition? No. What will happen? Divide AB. So that means this instruction is executed. Divide AB. Okay. Then return. Then return stands for, that is where I am going to towards the after the instruction, after the call instruction. Both instructions are set, but this is another way of writing or incrementing the address and making the use of the counter. So DJNZ is basically used as a counter now. Okay. So that is one point. And another point is now saving the program status. So when I am executing the main program, I have to save the status of the main program. Whenever I am jumping to a subroutine program, what I have to do is whenever I come back from the subroutine program, the main program should come for the whatever the state it was. Okay, whatever the state it was, it has to come back to that same position. Okay, so that is why how to do that. So what we are doing now here, starting the main program, move R0, 30H, move R1, 05H. Okay, so I am taking R1 as a counter, I am taking R0 as a basic address, that is 30H. Now call to average. So where I am jumping, the processor is going to average. What is the first instruction? Push PSW, push AR0, push AR1. Either I can write it like this, or I can write it like push 00, push 01. AR0 is not a different register because I cannot write only R0. Push R0 is invalid. So another way of writing push R0 is push AR0. Okay. So what I am doing, I am saving 30H, I am saving 05H, and I am saving the value of PSW on the stack. So what will happen? 08 will be having 08, 09, 08. So inside 08, what is the value of PSW? That is going to be stored here, PSW value. Inside 09, what will be stored? AR0. What is R0? 30H. 30H and 05H. Move B comma R1. So B will be having 5, clear A. This is the same program that from the previously what we have seen. But what we are doing, we are initiating a saving the status of the main program. This was the main program. And when we are jumping to a particular program, we have to save the status of this program. So that is why whatever the required registers are there, that we are storing onto the stack memory. We are storing upon the stack memory. We cannot write R0. The thing is, there is a condition for this push instruction. We cannot write push R0. This one we have already discussed, no? Push R0, that is, this is invalid. Push R0 to R7 is invalid because R0 to R7 are also representing bank 0, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3. So push instruction will get confused that which of the address has to be pushed on the stack. Either it is from, say, if I say 0 R0 is R0, I am writing R0. What is the address of R0? So if I am in a register bank 1, if I am in a register bank 0, the address of R0 is 00H. If I am, suppose I am in a register bank 1, then the address of the R0 is 08. And if suppose I am in bank 2, the address of R0 is 10. And if suppose I am in a bank 3, then the address of R0 is 18. So what is the from which address the push has to send the data upon the stack? It will not come to know. That is why instead of register name, I should write the address here. Push 00. Push 07. Okay, like this I have to write. Okay, or else another thing is, if I am using a register bank 0, then I have an option. Instead of writing R0, I can write AR0. Okay, but more basically, don't use this also. You simply write 00, 00H. Okay, or you simply write whatever the address will be when we are writing push instruction. Okay, here it is just an example, but don't follow this. Okay, so 00H, then 01H. Okay, what I'm doing, I am just saving the values of the main program, saving the whatever the values I have stored into some of the registers. Those register values I am storing upon the stack. Then I will execute whatever the previous program. So this was similar, not similar, it is the same program what we have seen in the last example, divide example. Now return is there, and I am coming from subroutine program to the main program. So while returning back to the main program, what I have to do? I have to take all the data first. Whatever I have pushed, first I have to take all those data back into the same thing. Say now, first what was, okay, the push is always first in, last out, or last in, first out. Okay, so what was the last in for the stack? The push AR1 was the last input for the stack, correct? 0, 5. Now what should be the first output? The 0, 5, that is AR1 should be the first output from the stack. So that is why you always remember this one. Our stack 8051 is always working as last in, first out, or also we can say first in, first input, and the first input is always the last output. Okay, understood? So first, what was the first input? The PSW was the first input. So what will be the last input? Philo. PSW will be the last input. So this is compulsory. If we should not miss any of the register. When we push it, we have to take it back. When we push it, we have to take it back. So this is compulsory. Or else what will happen? Suppose if I miss PSW, then what will happen? The PSW value will be loaded upon the PC, because after first this instruction and this instruction, return instruction is going to be executed. So if suppose if I miss PSW, pop PSW, then the PSW value is going to be loaded upon the PC. Then again what will happen? There is a lot of there is a lot of errors, or the mishandling of the instruction will be generated from the 8051. Okay, understood? Is it understood? Let's make it fast. We have to go a long way or go. Then now one more important is, now we will go for input output port programming. Input output port programming. Input output programming. Okay, so we have 4 inputs: P0, P1, P2, P3. We know that P1, P2, P3 are having internal pull-up registers. You know the concept of pull-up register. Even in the first module only we have discussed about the ports. Okay, pull-up registers. Whereas for the P0 port in the hardware, we have to use external pull-up registers. External pull-up register. Okay, how we can use? In this way. This is how we can connect a 10 kilo ohms of the pull-up resistor for the each pin of port 0, and we can use all these ports for input as well as output. Okay, why? Because P0 is always an open drain term. Okay, open drain, it is always open drain. So that is why P0 is required pull-up registers. See, already we have discussed about this in first module. I think if you go through that again, it will be very easy. Okay. So as P0 is open drain, we have to connect a pull-up register to drive the transistor. Okay. So that here, let us take an example of programming of port 1 as input. Port 1 as input. Okay. To make port 1 as an input port, it must be programmed as such by writing 1 to all its bits. Okay. Understand that? See, by default, whenever the 8051 gets restart, okay, then the default pin function will be output port. Okay, by default, the pin function, any pin function, so pin function will be working as output port. Okay, then we have to make it input, or again we have to make it output by configuring the port register. So if I write 0 upon a port register, a particular port register, then that hardware port will work as output port. Okay, if I write 0. If I write 1, then that port, hardware port, will work as input port. Okay. So let us see, you should remember this. If I write 0 upon a single bit or upon a whole 8 bits, then it is output. And if I write 1, then the pin will work as input. Have you got this? You remember this. 0 means output, 0 means O, 1 means I. Okay, 0 means O, output, 1 means I, input. So now let us make the port 1 as an input port. Okay, it must be programmed such by writing 1 to all its bits. So what I can do, move A comma #0FF. So A will be having FF. Okay, FF stands for what? 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 and 1. So move P1 comma A. What is P1? P1 is a register, port register of what? Port 1. So what I am writing upon all the bits of port 1? A value. What is A value? FF. So what will be the value of P1? Make P1 an input port by writing it all ones. All the ones. So P1 is not only one register, it means it is having 8 bits. P1.0, P1.1 up to P1.7. Correct? I have this hardware, no? Here it is been showing. Okay, here it is been showing. I have all the ports and the port number, pin number from 1 to 8 are working as port pins. P1 port pins, port 1. Okay, so P1 is also P1.0 is equal to 1. P1.1 is also equal to 1. All are 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 because we are writing all the bits as FF. FF stands for 1 1. So now P1 is configured as input because we are writing 1. So P1 port will work as input. So if I have P1 port here, P1.0 to P1.1, I have port pins. All these are working as input. So that if I connect sensors, no, then these will collect the data. If I connect these will collect the status of the switch, whether it is on or whether it is off. Okay. So what I have done now, make P1 as an input port by writing it all once. Okay. Then now P1 is working as input port. So if it is input, I will get the data from the P1 port. So that is why what I will do now, I am reading the value of P1. I am reading the value of P1. I am reading the value of P1, but where into the A register. If suppose A is 55H, sorry, P1 is 55H, A will be 55H. If P1 is getting 22, A will get 22. It means I am reading the value of P1. Okay, I am reading the value of P1. Then I am storing that same value into R7. Save it into R7 register. Then a call delay. We know what is a delay. Delay is a subroutine program. Okay, call by using a call instruction. I am calling a delay program. Say suppose it is 2 second. 2 second delay it is generating delay program. So I am wasting 2 second time here. Then again what I am doing? I am reading the value of P1 upon the A register. Say for every 2 seconds, P1 is going to give me the data. Then for every 2 seconds, I have to read the data of the P1 pins. Okay. So another data from P1, take it into A and store that value into R5. So this is what I am doing here. So is it been understood? Okay. Different ways of accessing the entire 8 bits. Now see, already this program we have seen, but we'll see it in different way. We have seen the program writing a 55H and double AH upon P1 register, P1 port. Okay. So first what we have done, this program we have already discussed. Move A comma 55H, hash 55H. A will be having 55H. So what is now? P1 is equal to 55. Then A call delay. So I'm calling a delay program. So there is a delay program here. Okay. Then I'm calling delay program. I'm coming back from that. Move A comma hash 0 double AH. I'm copying double AH into P1. And again, I'm calling A call delay. So I'm calling this delay program and back. Okay. This program we have already seen in the example in the previous classes. Now, the same program can be written as move P1 comma hash 55H. Directly I can write the data upon P1. Okay. Then A call delay. So before this, first what I have to do, I have to make P1 as an output port. No. So that is why first I have to write move P1 comma hash 00H. So now what will happen? All the bits of the P1 are 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That is why it is going to be acting as a output port. Then whatever the value I am going to put upon P1, that is going to be sent out. Okay, so 55H is going to be put upon P1, then call delay. Double AH is put up upon P1, then call delay. Again, jump back. Repeat the thing. So instead of having the A as an intermediate, I can directly write intermediate addressing mode for the port registers. Then in the similar fashion, say what? Move A comma hash 55H, move P1 comma A, that is been done, recall delay, then complement A. It means what? Complement A is going to be what? 55H is complemented, then it will be 0 double A. So double A is going to be put up upon P1. Again, there is a delay. After double A, there is a delay. Complement A. So it will become 55. So again, put up 55 upon P1, call delay. So again, there is a delay. So this program, all are similar. All are same only, but writing the way of the program is different. Here I have used so many number of instruction. Here it is quite reduced. Here it is again so much. It is reduced to many of the instructions. So it is our logic what we can utilize, what we can write in what way. Okay, for reducing the instructions. Understood?
शेर में समझता है क्या?
Then different programs are there. Before that, another 5 minutes are there. This is one main important topic that I have to cover for the syllabus. Now, a switch is connected. See, after this session, you have to join back. Okay, still, this program is important. A switch is connected to a P1.0 and LED is connected to P2.7. Okay, make it P1.7. Make it P1.7. Okay. Switch is connected. A push button switch is connected to P1.0. LED is connected to P2.7. Write a program to get the status of the switch and send it to the LED. So we need to read the status of the switch. Switch means what? It is an input device. It means where the switch is connected, P1.7. It means what? I have to make P1.7 as input. Then LED is what? Output device. Correct? So where it is connected, P2.7. So what P2.7 have to act as? It has to act as output port. This has to act as input port. This is input, this is output. Okay. Now, what is the thing? If read the value of P1.7, that is input. If the switch is 0 or whatever the status of the switch is there, send that directly towards output. So first what I have to do? Input. For making P1.7 as an input, what I can do? Now what I am doing? I am selecting a particular pin. I am not writing the whole data to the P1 port. So this is also possible. Even we have seen in the instruction set, bit manipulation instruction set. Okay, set bit was there. So this bit is P1.7. So what will happen? P1.7 will act as input. Okay, and P2.7 will by default P2.7. We know that whenever the reset happens, by default all the pins will be acting as a output port. So that is why I will not configure P2.7 again as an output. It is already output. Okay, so I'm not writing anything to P2.7. Then what I'm doing? move C, comma, P1 point, it is not 0, it is 7. Make a correction, okay? It is an image. I may not be able to edit. I will give the same PDF for you. And then you have to go through the programs. If you find something wrong, you can ask me, or else now whatever I am telling you, you just remember that. Okay, this is not 0, this is 7. P1.7. What I am doing? I am copying the input. I am taking the value of P1.7. It means we have to read it, no? Taking the value of P1.7 into the carry flag. C is carry flag, no? So read the switch status into CF, carry flag. Then what we have to do? Read the status of the switch and send it to the LED. Send it to LED. Where is LED? P2.7. So that is why just say move P2.7 comma C. So the value of C, if it was 0, 0 will be sent upon P2.7. If it is 1, 1 will be sent upon P2.7. Then go back, read the value of P1.7, send it to P2.7. Again go back, read the value of P1.7, send it to P2.7. Correct? But this thing I cannot do. P2 move P2.7 comma P1.7. I cannot make a direct movement, direct data transfer from one port to another port. Okay, this is invalid instruction. But this is valid. A whole byte can be transferred. A whole byte can be transferred. Move can be done from one whole byte to whole byte. Okay, but that is also not possible in terms of registers, general purpose registers. Only in terms of special function registers. But a single bit movement, that I don't have any instructions like this. Okay. So after this session, you have to join back. Let me take an attendance now only. So is it been understood? Bit manipulation, input output bit manipulation programming. Still so many programs are there. We'll go through it.